Hello and welcome to the 90's Guyz podcast. My name is Brian.
I'm Jed.
And this is our show.
It is.
And this is the third show we're doing.
This is the third show.
It's exciting.
We're moving right along.
That's right.
Yes.
And thank you for joining us on this journey.
Soon we will be taking over the world.
You know what? That is such a great reference because this episode and our second segment, we're going to be talking about cartoons, and in particular, my favorite cartoon. Do you know what that is?
Courage.
The Cowardly Dog.
The Cowardly Dog.
Yes.
I am also a fan of this show.
I
It's
know.
not my favorite, but it is a good-ass show.
We bonded over that
We
early
did,
on.
yes. So as we've talked, we didn't really discuss this much. Another one of the reasons Brian and I became such good friends is because he actually is a fantastic cartoonist.
Oh, thank you, bud.
And that is one of the reasons he started drawing me cartoons, and we hit it off after that because when we started talking about cartoons and stuff like that, and that's how we became friends.
Yeah.
I actually have some very rare, one-of-a-kind drawn just for me.
That I drew
Brian
for you?
originals. Yeah, I still have them.
Really?
Yeah.
You should bring those in for the next podcast, and we'll talk about them.
Yeah, I'll have to look for them, but I still have them. I have them in my poetry binder because I used to write
cool,
poetry.
dude.
So.
Did you ever write a poem inspired by one of my drawings?
No.
That's okay. I'm not offended.
Okay. I would have been offended if you didn't draw me those pictures, though.
I did, and they'll forever be yours.
They are.
Except when you bring them in, I'm going to rip them up.
No! That broke my heart.
Sorry, bud.
That's all right.
So this first segment, we're just going to talk about some stuff going on.
Hot topics of the now.
That's going to be the new theme. Hot topics of the now.
Yep.
So this one, I think it's something we can definitely, everyone can relate to, okay? When you grew up, we grew up in the 90s and 2000s, hence the 90's Guys.
Yeah.
What was the big thing you would go and do on a Saturday night that was, it involved a stick and a low ball?
A little baseball?
No, that was the worst intro to it ever. I'm talking about mini golf. I didn't give you mini hints.
Oh, yeah. Well, you and I used to do mini golf, too.
All the time.
Remember that one I actually scored 3 below par, and
Yeah.
it was ridiculous.
And you embarrassed me.
I did, but I've never been that good at. I'm usually like 27 over.
And you'll never be that good again.
I will never be. Yeah.
But you know what? So there's a brand new show on MTV, and I am just blown away. I haven't been able to see it yet. It's hosted by Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors, and it is a show about mini golf, and apparently it's hilarious, but the name's even better. It's called Holy Moly.
Holy moly!
You know what? I embrace the cheesiness. I
Yeah.
love it.
I would give it a watch. If they say it's as funny as it is, all that stuff is good. I mean,
Yeah.
why not?
But don't you think they can probably make it pretty fascinating, too? Like, people going head-to-head at mini golf.
Oh,
Could be
yeah.
exciting.
Well, they used to have mini golf tournaments like crazy, and you
Yeah.
actually win money. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Right.
And then you realize how hard it actually is to do mini golf.
I know. People make like mini golf. Mini golf. Let's see you get out there and get under par.
Right?
You know?
I did once.
Yeah.
That's it. And I've been mini golfing a numerous amount of times.
That's true.
Once. I was 3 under, and I was so happy I almost jumped in the fountain.
I know. Naked, I might
I
add.
know.
Yeah.
That was cool, too, because that guy was like, oh, $7, you can play as many games as you want. And you and
Yeah.
I played like 2 or 3 games.
We found the best mini golf park, and then it was so funny too because it wasn't like the most exciting in terms of like.
And that's, I remember him telling us that. He's like, I know it's not all that fancy and whatever. He goes, I just bought this place because I wanted people to be able to have fun. He goes, I just charge people $7 and they
Yeah.
can play as many games as they want.
and
That's
it was
just-
a great course. Still,
it was so much fun.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So
I got
what-
a couple hole-in-ones, and I was like, no way.
Well, you had to if you got 3 under.
Well, not necessarily.
Oh, well,
Oh,
true.
I guess that's true.
You did really well.
I did. I was
we
shocked.
gotta watch that show though. Holy moly!
We will have to watch that show.
I like that.
What's it on again?
MTV.
MTV. I don't have that channel, though.
I don't either.
We'll figure out something.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So here's one that I'm kind of fascinated with. KFC. They're always coming up with new stuff. I know.
Chicken.
Finger
I prefer
looking good.
Lay's.
No, you do not.
Oh, their biscuits are amazing.
Oh, you're so wrong.
Oh,
I know.
Are we gonna fight?
Not right now.
Oh, okay. Because my shirt was
After.
coming off.
I know. I was getting excited. KFC is coming out with this new thing. And I'll tell you what, the Cheetos craze is going out of control.
It is,
It's nutty.
but they're delicious.
But dude,
I don't
listen to
want it
this.
on my.
Listen to this. They are coming out with a fried chicken sandwich, and they're going to be using Cheeto flavored sauce on it.
What?
I don't even know what Cheeto flavored sauce is.
That's weird.
Do you think it's all the dust and they
That's
put a little
probably.
water?
I'm going to be farting Cheeto dust.
Oh.
It's going to be weird.
That'd be an improvement. Trust me.
Well, no, it's not going to
you.
smell like Cheeto dust.
Oh.
It's just going to stain my underwear orange.
Oh my god. It's a new color.
Ah, right. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I'll try it, but to be honest with you, I just don't get what the Cheeto flavor
What is it? The like hot one, or is it just all of them?
Just regular Cheetos.
Just
No,
regular
just
Cheetos?
the original Cheetos.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. That might be good though. I mean, I like to dump my chicken and cheese every so often.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'll give it a try, but okay, so this is another story I heard.
Okay.
Forever 21 is coming out with a Cheetos themed clothing line.
Yes. And there's like bikinis and all that stuff. Yeah, I've heard about that on something. I was like, really? People like you. Well, you know, there's a ramen noodle one too.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah.
Which actually it looks kind of decent.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm like, all these people are going for all these weird foods. Stick with the PBR.
Amen.
Right?
We need them as a sponsor.
Yeah.
So another something I want to talk about, and this is something that we could gab forever on. We won't because we're going to spare you.
I was hoping we could talk forever.
No, not forever, but you're going to like this.
Okay.
After 52 long years, we are St. Louis natives, and we are very excited. The St. Louis Blues finally took home a Stanley Cup, and I'll tell you what, it was well-deserved.
It was. They've played fantastic. You know what? I had heard at one point, Brian, is this true? That they were in last place?
They were in last place in January.
What?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
And then they won the cup, baby.
What?
What do you think, man? You actually kind of got me into the Blues.
I have been a Blues fan as long as I can remember, man. I just remember my one of my first memories is me and my dad watching hockey together, and I think I got a little emotional with it because my dad passed away a couple of years ago, and he never got to see the Stanley Cup come to St. Louis, but I just, it was one of those things, man, that, to be honest with you, I didn't think it was ever going to happen in my lifetime.
Too.
And it was nuts. And for like 3 days after it happened, I still thought it was a dream.
I know.
I was like, what's going on? There's no way.
You know what?
There's no way.
You know what? When it set in for me that we really won it?
Is when I text you?
No.
Oh.
I was watching the game.
No, you weren't.
The Stanley Cup game?
I'm just giving you shit.
No, it's when we had the parade.
Oh, that was so much fun.
And I saw Alex Pietrangelo, our captain, walking down the street, holding the cup up, and man, it was shiny. Everyone was rushing him, trying to get their hands on it, and this bad boy got his hand on it.
So, as Brian admitted in the first podcast, that he works for a radio station.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, but little did I know, we were like literally not very far from each other.
Maybe 30 feet.
Yeah, we didn't even get a chance to hook up. It was crazy. Every time I tried to text somebody, it would just fail because there were so many people downtown doing whatever. And we were literally right across the street from each other, and I had no idea.
Right.
So I'm looking at him with all these videos of all these hockey players, and he's like making out with them and stuff like that. It was crazy. And I got a little jealous, not going to lie. But I don't know. I still think some of the best stuff was the guys walking down the street and like just the guy with the pom-poms going, Bennington with the pom-poms
He
going.
got in with the cheerleaders, did a little shimmy.
Did a little shimmy, then riding around on the bike. And then did you see the thing about Dunn?
No.
Him puking on his driver because he was so drunk?
I watched that happen in front of me.
Oh, it happened right in front of you?
Right in front of me. It was so funny because he puked into his jersey, and then he actually used his shirt, and he like held it up and kind of like was cupping the vomit.
Oh, yeah?
And then
That's awesome.
He took it off. It was very gross to see in person.
That's crazy.
And if you haven't heard, I'm playing our rally song right now. If you don't know, Gloria is the big rally song for the Blues this year.
Actually, somebody did a remake of it, a metal remake, and they've been playing it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like it.
There's been some really good remakes of this song.
Yeah. Since this whole thing happened.
Yeah.
And you know what? I just thought it was fantastic, man. They went from dead last.
Yep.
And everybody gave up on them to winning the Stanley Cup, and this town going bananas over it.
And we deserved it.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, I think that one of the best things, maybe besides the parade and obviously winning the Stanley Cup, had to be Brett Hall at
my
the
goodness.
rally. I have a little clip for you. Check this out.
And they are the champions. Glory, Gloria. Gloria, Gloria. I think I got your number, Gloria.
Good for him.
He was having a good time.
He was having a great time. I love the fact that when he drove past us, the people that were in his car were holding him up because he was that drunk. That's crazy.
You know what?
But good for
And he
them.
should
Good
be.
for them. I mean, I think the other thing that was really cool is that Bobby Plager,
Oh my God.
who's been a Blue from the beginning and is still a part of the organization, got a chance to bring a cup to St. Louis, and good on them. And they let him hoist that cup up, and oh my goodness. And then, of course, our little girl.
Yep.
Layla. Oh, my goodness.
I'll tell you what. I would say, arguably, besides the cup, she had the loudest roar out of the crowd when she came by.
Oh, yes.
Easily.
And what a trooper, man.
I know.
She's sick, and she's going through all that stuff, and still made it all day
Yeah.
doing all that stuff. Oh, good for her.
She gave this team in this town another purpose
Oh, yeah.
for winning that cup.
Oh, yeah.
And we did it for Bobby.
Yeah.
We did it for Brett.
We
in
did
a lot
it
of
for
ways.
McKinnis.
We did it for McKinnis.
Kachuk.
Chuck. Jansen.
Jansen. Oh, yeah, Jansen, yeah.
And we did it for Layla.
Layla, yep.
Yep.
And then on top of that, the other part of the great story is the hometown boy coming home, taking less money to play with the Blues, and bringing home a Stanley Cup.
And you know what? And it's so funny
Thank you,
because
Patrick Maroon.
Patrick Maroon, we love you. You're a hometown hero.
Yeah.
And it was so funny, too, because there were so many weird parallels, if I can connect it, to the 2011 St. Louis Cardinals World Series. If I can just make a couple connections.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
First of all, the Cardinals were way out of it before the playoffs. They had to come back from like 28-game loss.
Yeah, they were, yeah.
And then the Blues had to come back from last place.
Yep.
A rookie in the 2011 World Series, David Freese, practically brought us.
Nobody likes David.
Don't start with me.
I know. I'm just giving you trouble. I'm a Freeze fan.
And then on top of that, Maroon, hometown boy, comes and helps us win this Stanley Cup.
Well, did you hear the other thing is they talk about public school versus private school. So Ben Bishop, who plays for the Dallas Stars, is from St. Louis, and he went to a private school. And Stasny, Paul Stasny, who played for the Blues, now he plays for, I think, Vegas. He was a private school boy, and they were 0 for 2. But
really?
The two public school boys, Patty Maroon from Oakville and David Freese from your Lafayette,
whoop, whoop.
They brought us some hardware.
Yeah, they did.
And guess what? That's public school. Public school.
Whoop, whoop. And you know what? This is something that I'm hoping next year we can hear a lot more of as well. Oh, my gosh. Give me just a second. I got a freaking ad. Ready?
Yeah.
There it is. That's it, baby.
Right there.
You know what? This is a good team. I think we're going to do fine.
I think we'll make the playoffs again for sure. If we make another run, great. Go for it, baby.
Amen.
Win as many cups as you can, boys.
Amen.
So
I'll tell you what, that's going to do it for our first segment here on the 90s, guys. When we come back, we're going to be talking about my all-time favorite 90s and 2000s cartoon. It's Courage the Cowardly Dog I'm talking about. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This program to bring you Courage the Cowardly Dog Show, starring Courage the Cowardly Dog. Abandoned as a pup, he was found by Muriel, who lives in the middle of nowhere with her husband, Eustace Bag. But creepy stuff happens in nowhere. It's up to Courage to save his new home.
Stupid dog! You made me look bad.
Welcome back to the 90s, guys. That was the theme song for my all-time favorite cartoon, Courage the Cowardly Dog. Whoa. What the things I do for love.
Oh.
And that's what we're going to be talking about this segment.
So, Brian, let me ask you.
Please.
This little purple dog with a hole in a tooth.
Yep.
What do you enjoy about this young pup?
Why do I feel like I'm inside the actor's studio?
Because.
What's your favorite
Because
curse
I'm
word?
bald.
You know what? I'll tell you exactly what drew me to Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Tell me.
And this is an embarrassing story.
Oh, no.
Kind of.
Should I be your therapist for a second?
If you want to.
Okay.
I'll lay down.
Let me get my pen here.
Go ahead.
How does that make you feel?
Like dog shit.
Oh, no!
No, so my whole thing was, for whatever reason, I was like a really timid, kind of scared little kid.
I can attest to that. When we
know
first
what I
met,
mean?
you kind of were...
Timid.
Yeah.
So, for whatever reason, I would watch Courage when I was real little, and it freaked me out.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me
It
stories.
totally
Yeah.
freaked me out. And then all of a sudden, I kind of came into my own, and obviously just growing up, you kind of are done with stupid childhood fears. And
Some of them.
some of them.
There's still a gorilla trying to eat my toe. and
Is
eat my bag.
That's me.
Oh.
You were drunk.
Oh, okay.
But so for whatever reason, I kind of broke out of that. And I found this weird pride in myself that Courage the Cowardly Dog came on one day, and I could watch it, and I wasn't freaked out.
Whoa.
And I was like, oh, I'm a man.
You are a man.
I'm a man.
Then that's when you got your first chest hair.
It is.
His name was Clancy.
And I plucked it out right away.
Why?
I said, I don't want to be a man.
Did you save it?
I did. It's in a box.
It's in a box.
But it was so funny because this show captured my heart right away. For those of you who don't know, which I'm sure you do know about Courage the Cowardly Dog, how could you not know?
I would think I was pretty popular, man.
It was huge.
Yeah, it was big on Cartoon Network for quite a bit.
Oh my gosh. But it's basically a show that surrounds a little dog that was rescued by this woman named Muriel, and her husband live in the middle of nowhere. You basically in the cartoon you see their house, and then it's just like
Nothing.
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 I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Kansas where they were at, right?
Yeah.
Kind of seemed
Which
like
is
it.
a funny thing because our joke in our family is, hell is too good for us. They're going to send us to Kansas.
Well, that's where they were.
That's where they were.
And it was so great because every single episode was centered around something was happening.
Kansas, I don't dislike you. I'm just saying.
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
Jed hates Kansas.
I don't hate Kansas. I love Kansas City. Go Chiefs.
Chiefs. But the thing about the show was, it was so great, is there was always some creepy shit happening.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so great because, I mean, the irony of the show is Courage was like a major win.
His name was Courage.
Courage.
And he was a complete baby chicken.
Right. And it's so funny because somehow he would always freak the hell out whenever something happened. But the way that he overcame the stuff
Oh, yeah.
was the love for his family.
For I don't know if it was
Yeah,
Eustace.
for Muriel.
I was going to say Muriel.
But you know what? He would save Eustace a lot
Yeah.
because he knew that he was important to Muriel.
Yeah.
You know?
But he was a turd.
Eustace was, remember, he'd take out that big mask?
Oh, yeah.
And
And
he-
scare Courage.
Ooga booga booga.
Yeah.
I'd like to smack that old man across the face.
I think a lot of us would. Knock that one last tooth out of his head.
Yes. But tell me, what was your first memories of Courage? Do you have one?
Yeah, I think I stumbled upon it by accident. I was flipping through a thing, and I saw this purple dog, and me being a cartoon fiend like I am, like I still love adult I
What's
can't
that?
say the word.
What's what?
Animation.
Yes.
Adult animation. And I just, was flipping through and just got hooked on it, and I was like, this is kind of adult oriented in a way.
It was.
It really was. Like, it was for kids, don't get me wrong. I mean, it was kind of like a little bit scarier version of Scooby-Doo.
Right.
Because there's nobody wearing a mask. They were actually...
It was bad things.
Yeah. But, no, it was a well-written, well-done show. I loved the coloring.
Yes.
How they would just change the color scheme with what was going on around them. It was really good.
Yes. And
Yeah.
not to mention, like, the animation, it was perfect. And Cartoon Network was doing this back in the day, back in the 90s, where, the cartoon characters like Courage would see something, and then he would yell, and he would, like, explode.
Yeah.
And, like, just like that it's almost like that Hanna-Barbera style.
Yeah.
Where they were just
and
like...
they would do like the little outline around them and all that stuff. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, he'd run, and the cloud would be behind him.
Them. Yeah, I would love that.
Love
that.
Love it.
Old kind of Looney Tunes type thing too.
Yes. But it's so funny, and I think you know this, but back when I was younger, obviously I wanted to be a cartoonist back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
We
Yeah.
talked about that. And a big thing I would do is I would write cartoonists, and I would just tell them, I love your show. I
I
aspire
didn't know
to
about
be
this. You didn't tell me about this.
This is really cool. I'm
Okay.
gonna bring this in next time. You're
Okay.
gonna like this.
Yeah.
So I wrote the creator of the show. His name's John R. Dillsworth. Okay, based out of New York. I wrote him a letter, and I also wrote a million other people letters. He was the only guy to get back to me.
That's awesome.
He wrote me a letter, and it was on the back.
Are you trying to tell me that Seth MacFarlane
He didn't
is
get back
that
to
much
me.
of a douche?
Such a douche.
I know.
Yeah,
No, you're not, Seth.
you're not. We love you.
You're funny. We're just giving you crap.
But I wrote this guy, and I just poured my heart out and just told him, I love your show. It's incredible. He sends me back this picture, and it's incredible. You're going to love this. It's actually a picture of, like, the living room of Courage's house.
Yeah.
And John is sitting in the rocking chair with
really?
Courage on his lap.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so cool.
He signed it, and on the back, he wrote me a whole letter.
Oh, that is awesome.
And it was just like, Brian.
Doesn't that just mean so much more?
Oh my.
Like the fact that he took the time to write that out to you.
You know what? And even on top of that, you're not going to believe this. We were pen pals for easily a year.
Really? Yeah, you didn't tell me what. I'm learning new things about this, Brian.
You never asked me about myself.
Oh, I ask you what you're wearing when we're on the phone.
That's true.
At night.
You know what? That wasn't for the podcast. You're not supposed to talk about that. I'm married. But it was just so cool of him. It was really cool of him.
No, that's awesome.
Really down to earth
guy. I had no
guy.
idea about that. That reminds me of when I was in second grade and we had to do a report on like a different country. And so I wrote a letter to Ireland. And they sent me all this stuff back from Ireland. I'm like, that is so awesome.
You just wrote Ireland?
Yeah, I wrote a letter. I'm like, hey, I'm doing a report on you guys, on your country. I've always loved Ireland. I don't know why. I have no idea why, but I've always been in love with Ireland since I was really little.
Yeah.
It's the redhead thing, I think. I have a big.
I know you're into those.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just always have loved Ireland. Every time I saw a picture of it or anything like that, that was beautiful. So I'm like, I'm going to do a report on it.
Yeah.
So we went down to get the almanac. Back in the 90s, people would know about that.
Right.
Because that's how the internet was not around. And so we had to go caveman style and send letters.
Yeah.
So I wrote them. I said, hey, Ireland, I'm doing a report on you. Can you give me some information? Da-da-da. And they sent me like a map of Ireland, an Irish flag, and some other stuff. I'm like, this is really awesome.
When you did like the two-sender part, when you wrote that out, did you just put Ireland?
No. They had the actual address of the whatever. Because it was my teacher helped all of us out doing that. So she would write out where it was going to because all the addresses that you needed were in the almanac and stuff like that.
Right.
So, but no,
That's
that
awesome.
just means so much more when they put a little special touch on it for you, man.
Absolutely. And even now when I watch it, I just think to myself, like, a really nice guy made this. And that makes me feel just awesome.
I'm still upset with you that you stopped cartooning.
You know what? You want to know why I stopped cartooning?
No, I know, because you're petty and
Wow. Petty. I was
vindictive.
Yeah, I was drawing one day. I said, I hate these cartoons.
I can't stand this thing that I'm drawing right now.
You know what? It was a passion of mine.
Yeah.
And I tried to make it a job.
And that's, yeah.
It's
I
not
think
good.
we should get back into it, but as just kind of a fun
I
thing.
do it for fun. I'd love to do it for fun.
I'll do the voices.
Yes.
I'll do the voices.
You keep auditioning. Go ahead.
I'll do the voices.
Can I tell you who my absolute favorite villain was for Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Who was that, Brian?
You tell me if you remember this.
Okay.
The name was Katz. Katz.
I want to say yes.
It was like he was in more episodes than any other villain.
Okay.
And he was just a creepy little beady-eyed cat.
Yes.
And he was like a little French-speaking guy almost.
Yes.
And he was so great because he was like the one guy that every episode he was in, you always kind of knew Courage would get out of it.
Yeah.
His episodes, I was kind of like, I don't know.
I don't know what's going to go on
How's
now.
this going to happen?
This is going to be weird.
That was my favorite character.
Might be the end of Courage.
No. The things I do for love.
Oh, no.
But yeah. Oh, and you know what's so funny too? If you can still go to this guy's website, John R. Dillsworth, who created Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Does he do any other cartoons other than
He
Courage?
does. I'm gonna look up his website right now. It's so funny though. It's Stretch Films Inc.
Okay.
And he does this short, and it's like this little birdie on a tree branch.
Oh yeah.
Just doing ridiculous stuff, and you gotta look it up. But the bird pretty much like all the time just like sticking its ass out.
Kind of like you.
Yeah,
on Friday nights.
and that's why I related.
Oh yeah.
So
You gotta make that money somehow, right, Brian?
Absolutely.
I'm just saying. By the way, here's that $20 I owe you.
Thank you. Put that right in the pocket. There we go. But yeah, it's just if you go to his site, he's still got a lot of crazy stuff, and like, so I say this in the nicest way. He's kind of a nutcase.
Oh,
He's eccentric.
Well, you kind of got to be that way.
Totally.
Well, you got to think of like the way the stories are written and all that stuff. You got to be a little off your rocker,
Right.
but not in a bad way.
Absolutely not. But and it's just that creativeness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's like most of us are. Like the reason we're doing this, we're kids that have never really grown up.
Right.
So that's what he's doing.
Amen.
That's why I still collect toys and baseball cards and all that stuff. And I'm a huge nerd when it comes to comic books and all that good stuff.
You're just a 90's guy.
I am a 90s guy.
That's
I'm
all
a
you are.
90s nerd. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes, which will be coming up in a future episode.
Yes.
But I'll tell you
we
what.
will be doing that definitely.
Courage never smoked much. He was a dog of few words.
He was,
which
but
most dogs are.
Yeah, I don't know. My dog talks quite a bit.
Oh,
I don't
really?
understand him because he speaks Spanish, but
Oh, I hate that.
I know. But he ate a. It's ridiculous. I'm like, come on, man, come on.
But you got to admit, Courage had a great catchphrase. You ready for it?
Yes.
The things I do for love.
The things I do for love.
I mean, that's me right now. The things I do for love, Brian. What? I love you.
I love you.
That's why I'm doing this.
Do you want to get out of here and get something to
Let's
eat?
get some pizza.
You want to get a drink?
Let's get a drink.
I love you.
What? Oh God. Oh God. Things just got real.
So yeah. So I mean, I think that's going to wrap up for Courage. Easily, we can say one of the best cartoons.
It
of the
is.
90s.
It is very, very good. Very well done too. It's a very good cartoon. I enjoyed it. Good choice. Good
Excellent
choice
animation.
as your. Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
Thank you, bud.
But it was a little darker too, which was good too.
Yes.
So
It's fun to have that little not so.
you kind of want to pee your pants a little bit, but you don't. It's
Right.
At the same time, because
Exactly.
you don't want your parents to come down and you have wet pants from watching a cartoon.
You're just saying hypothetically.
Yes.
Well, hey, that's going to do it for this episode of the 90s Guys. Make sure you subscribe to us.
Yes.
We're going to be announcing some social media platforms pretty soon.
Yep.
It's going to be pretty dope. You're going to
Yep.
follow that too.
We'll probably get into that the next episode, I would assume.
Probably.
'Cause we'll have time to get all that set up and going.
Exactly. And you can follow us for some cool content, but we'll let you know.
Yeah.
Expect us twice a week. So what you got to do is you got to subscribe to our podcast.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kool-Aid Man.
I'm sure the Kool-Aid Man's going to come up in this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
But again, thank you for joining us. My name's Brian,
I'm Jed.
and that is going to do it for the 90s Guys. We're going to see you next time.